Are we recording?
Yay!
I'm so unprepared.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for joining
to,
us.
Yeah. Drunk Doctor Who, episode 14.
A little less drunk this time.
Yeah.
More episodes.
Yeah. I got drunk last night,
What are
so.
we drinking today?
Well, Russian standard vodka.
And peach.
Smirnoff Ice.
It's pretty light drink.
Put it on your shirt.
First time I had Smirnoff.
Oh, that's me. Well, it was my vodka until I found Russian standard.
I like the vodka too, yeah. But this is just Smirnoff. Ooh, is that beer? Is that what you call that?
No. It's like a wine cooler, but it's a vodka cooler.
This?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's vodka instead of wine, but it's like a little wine cooler thingy.
Yeah, it's only 5.8%.
Oh, like 11 proof.
Very light drinking.
Yeah, no problem.
The first time I had it, I wasn't quite 21 yet. I was 20.
That's fun.
And I was with my friend, and he bought me alcohol because he was 21. And we're sitting in his car, and we were just putting these back. And I did what I did with this. I put the sticker on my shirt, and then his dad came out. And we rolled down the window and we're chatting, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up? You know, how are you guys doing?" We're like, "Oh, we're going to a party later." He's like, "Okay, cool, be fun, you know, be smart." And then he walked away, and I turned to my friend. I'm like, "He said be smart. Do you think he knows we're drinking?" And then I noticed I had the sticker on my chest. He's like, "Oh, he probably knows we're drinking."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so today we watched the Crusade.
the Crusades.
The Crusade. Yeah. Children's show. There's torture and death and
slavery
a harem. Slavery, all sorts of fun things. You know?
Really dark episode.
I don't want to say Crusades. It was dark.
It's a reconstruction, so I don't know if the stills made it more or less dark. I don't know if watching it in live action.
Hey, two episodes exist, and first and third, and the second and fourth episodes were reconstructions. So you have to watch the actual episodes that still exist from the Lost in Time box set. Although I think El Amin, right?
Elakir.
Elakir. All right. You got the name down better than I did.
I wrote it down. I cheated.
Alright, off the credits. Alright, but yeah, I actually am not sure if this is still in print, but the Lost in Time box set has the two episodes that are missing, that exist, and then the reconstructions were from the reconstruction discs.
So every other episode we're switching discs.
Yeah, switch the discs. Most of the reconstruction discs have the episodes that exist on the discs. For some reason, this one doesn't. I don't know why. I think this was an early effort for they figured out they could do that, you know. So, and they just left it that way. Now, funny thing is that the vast majority of the Doctor Who serials that have at least half the episodes have all been fleshed out with animation. This is like the only exception. The reason was because the historicals were never as popular as the science fiction ones. And so for some weird reason, even though that according to their criteria, this was a prime candidate to flesh out with animations, it never was. But it probably will be soon because they are now starting to sell box sets of each season for the classic, the 20th century Doctor Who, like they do with the 21st century Doctor Who. And they're going to have to continue to flesh out all of the missing episodes in order to get the first three Doctors, the first two Doctors' early seasons finished, you know?
And the only animated ones we've seen so far was the French Revolution.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah. Sorry, escape from off the bucket. Yeah, you're talking about
Is this our first
Reign of
podcast
Terror.
where you're wearing shoes? I feel like no.
Maybe, but it's stupid cold. It's 30 degrees outside. We have a big cold front coming because it's November. And happy Veterans Day, veterans, if any of y'all are watching.
So when I pull out my calendar, it says Veterans Day, and then the day after it says Veterans Day Observed. What does that mean?
Okay, well, Veterans Day is 11/11, November 11th, because it used to be Armistice Day. Armistice Day. From when the First World War ended, they signed the Armistice. in a railroad car in, I think, Versailles. No, not Versailles. Some small town. But anyway, so that ended that war. Put some really, really bad burdens on the Germans.
That's what
caused right. We helped to cause the Second World War. Their hyperinflation stuff that happened as a result. But anyway, so in some way, I mean, the wars were very connected, but in some ways it almost didn't end. But so Armistice Day after the Second World War became Veterans Day because they wanted to celebrate the veterans as opposed to the armistice, which makes sense because there were new veterans from the Second World War. So it was the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month was the whole shtick. And it was 100 years ago because this is 2018 and the armistice was signed in 1918. So it was exactly 100 years ago yesterday. But so Veterans Day landed on Sunday, so they observed it on Monday. So the banks are closed, the post office is closed, lots of various things are closed on that day, certain school stuff. But I don't think schools get out for Veterans Day. You might get out if you're a veteran. But I don't know. But anyway, so it's observed on the Monday afterwards. If a holiday happens on a Saturday or a Sunday, it'll be observed usually the Friday before or the Monday after for things being closed.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so this is Veterans Day observed. No mail today. For those not in the United States, if there's anybody watching this who's not in the United States, we do this every year with Veterans Day here in the U.S. We should have that. All right. But
I don't have a pocket.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I do.
This is the only serial from the second season of Doctor Who that has not been completed. In terms of animating the other stuff. Now season 3 has a whole bunch of stuff that has not been completed, and they're going to have to really work on that one. I mean, like, most of season 3 does not exist. You know, Galaxy 4, there's one episode. Mission of the Unknown is gone. Mythmakers, all 4 episodes are gone. Dalek's Master Plan, 9 of the 12 episodes are missing. Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve, all 4 episodes are missing. Celestial Twinmaker, 3 of the 4. Savages, all 4 of the 4. And The Smugglers, all 4 of the 4. Yeah. As an interesting note, the Savages was going to be originally called the White Savages. Kind of glad they didn't go with that. Speaking of which, in this serial, there was some brown face employed.
Face paint.
Yeah, because they didn't have a lot of like Middle Eastern people.
Yeah. They had like, you know, one sort of like one or two people of color, ethnic, you know, that fit the role.
Middle Eastern, yeah.
There's I think Ella Keir was actually a Middle Easterner actor.
Yeah, and the Thief, who I think was from who was also in Marco Polo.
Right.
I think he was also in Marco Polo.
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim, which is Abraham in Middle Eastern. But Arabic, I should say Arabic. But there was a lot of brown face.
There's just a lot of English actors playing these Middle Eastern roles. It's kind of painfully obvious because they didn't paint their necks, and their necks were just stock white, and their faces were real dark.
Right. But to be fair, they didn't do that to everybody. There were some white actors playing Arabic, but they just kind of left them white too.
Those were the ones with the big beards.
Yeah, they already had beards. That's good enough. They got beards. But it was so much more common back then in the 60s. I mean, there's no... It's not PC today. God, I hate PC.
You mentioned they did it in Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder is the most...
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. got away with it, and it's the most recent... It's the most recent use of any sort of black or brown or whatever face that I can think of that was not incredibly decried by everyone.
Right.
You know?
Right. In the movie, the plot was, you know, he's not playing a black character in the movie, he's playing an actor who's playing an African American.
Well, no, the character in the movie's African American. Wait. The character in his movie was African American. The character in Tropic Thunder was Robert Downey Jr., the actor playing...
So Robert Downey Jr. is playing this actor in the movie who is playing a
black character in another movie.
Yes.
and I don't get out of character until I do the DVD soundtrack. Yeah, it's like commentary track. I'm like, holy crap. But I think that he got away with it because it was almost a mimic or a parody of blackface.
This is satire.
Yeah, satire. That's the word. That's the word. But anyway, just like with Marco Polo, although that one, the entire thing was missing. This one, the 2 episodes were missing, and now they're coming out with the seasons, as a complete season on Blu-ray, which I'll have to get because we've talked about technically better than the DVDs because PAL has more lines than NTSC, so it'll be
you just have to rebuild
visually better.
Collection.
Well, no, but I only have to buy 26 seasons as compared to
only 26
seasons. Well, okay. To be fair, The Simpsons is on season 30, so and I've got most of The Simpsons. I'm still buying the. I have all the DVDs that have been released. I think except season 18. I need to pick that up. And I'm now buying them on Amazon so I can watch them. There's nothing past season 20.
Would you prefer DVD? Would you prefer a disc-based media, or are you okay having them?
I highly prefer the physical medium. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but if someday I don't want to pay for internet, I can still watch them on a DVD player. Also, I can loan these to friends.
That's true.
I can't loan a friend something I've got on the internet, but. I'm doing the Uber late at night, and
your Simpsons fun.
Yeah, I'm using it for the TV fun. I'm saving up for, and I'll buy season of The Simpsons here and there, and The Good Place I bought online and stuff like that.
It's a good show.
Oh, I love that show.
We tried. So season 3, we have been watching The Good Place on Netflix. We watched season 1, season 2. They don't have season 3 on Netflix, so we went to Hulu to watch it. But it starts at episode 2. They have season 3, episode
I have it
2.
on Amazon.
Yeah, they don't have episode 1 on
I will show you all episode 1 later this evening.
Well, why would they do that? Why would Hulu do that?
No, okay.
They have the entire season except for episode 1.
Okay. To be fair, so 12 or 13 years ago, I was a beta tester for Hulu. And I had that account forever because they just left the beta test accounts in there forever.
That's cool.
And I never used it. I watched it a little bit early on. It was one of the early things, and it was funny because I had a friend who was like all up on technology. He knew everything. It was the one time I surprised him because he came to me and talked to me. He said, "Hey, this service is starting." And I said, "Yeah, I'm a beta tester." He went, "What? You?" It's like, okay, you're ahead of me on something. It was great. I think it was the one few times I surprised him about that.
What do they call it? Technophiles?
Technophiles, yeah.
People do the Google Glass thing.
Oh my gosh.
You just have to buy this part watches when they came out.
I knew everything in the world about technology in the 80s, and then in the 90s it all passed me by. And, dang, gotta move this bucket.
I'm already just way behind on everything.
It all passed me by. Now they're magic phones. I mean, I'm 50 now, so I don't feel so bad about not knowing all this stuff anymore.
You got your first magic phone?
Yeah, I got it 2 years ago. Yeah,
2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. Right after Christmas, it's 18, so 16. Like 27th of December, I went out and got it. I was like, okay. My grandmother gave me some money. Grandma money. Gotta love grandma money.
Grandma money.
And I, put it down and got paid a little bit for the phone and got it. 2 years. You gotta pay on the phone 2 years. Make installments on the cell phone.
Yeah.
And we're probably gonna get
crazy expensive phones.
One right after this Christmas. Yeah, because the 2 years are done.
She's still on the flip phone?
Yeah, she still has a rock and a flip phone.
Those are so satisfying to hang up on people. Just flip it open. I used to have a Razor phone. And I thought it was the coolest thing. You remember the Razors? The Razors?
Yeah. Oh, but let's see. I've got the dates here because for the new Doctor Who. All right, Shada. Hey, have I told you about Shada?
No.
Okay, we'll get to Shada right about there. Okay. No. A little further back. Yeah, a little further. Yeah, in there. See where it says Shada? 2 more back. There you go.
Shada.
Okay. Shada was released on the 6th. Okay. That is an incomplete version.
Oh.
But they've okay. What happened was they were filming it and they had a strike.
More than 30 years in the TARDIS.
Right.
They had a strike. The writer's strike?
Well, the more than 30 years in the TARDIS is a documentary about Doctor Who. So
this is the documentary?
No. Shada is a serial, but also included in there is More Than 30 Years in the TARDIS, which is a documentary.
And we're gonna watch that?
Well, eventually. Okay. What's the number on that?
This is...
No, flip the back.
109.
Yeah, that'll be our 109th episode. So you're looking at about 2 to 3 years.
Speaking of which, we didn't have a podcast last week. I was sick.
Yeah, he was sick of the dog. Yeah.
2 days. Had the poops and the pukes.
Oh, and our current doctor, the main Doctor Who watching group is right there where that hole is in front of Key of Time. Watching Invasion of Time.
And we're
up there at that hole right there. Yeah.
How long is it gonna take us to catch up to here?
A couple of years.
A couple of years?
A couple of years, yeah. Alright, but anyway, so Shada was released on the 6th. What happened was they did Shada, and they were filming it, but there was a strike, not for the writers, but there was a strike for the filming guys. Okay? You know, the guys who hold the cameras and all that stuff. So they didn't finish it.
What was that strike about? Pay or?
It was about pay. Maybe benefits, but it's always about pay. So anyway, it was never completed. It was half filmed. And it's sad because it was written by Douglas Adams. You know, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams. Yeah. He wrote 3 Doctor Who serials, one of which is one of the best ones of the classic era, the 20th century era, which is City of Death.
Sounds spooky.
If you want to get somebody to Doctor Who with the new stuff, you show them. No, you show them Blink for the new stuff. 21st century. No. If you want to get them into Doctor Who with the old stuff, you show them City of Death, and if they like that, they'll love Doctor Who. Same for Blink.
I heard Weeping Angels is a good one.
Blink.
Oh, is that Blink?
Yeah, that's Blink.
Oh.
It's got the Weeping Angels. It introduces the Weeping Angels. It's a Doctor Light episode, but it is really good.
Before I started watching Doctor Who with you, that's all I ever heard about Doctor Who was watch the one with the Weeping Angels.
Right, Blink. That's a great introductory episode to the show.
I never did that.
Okay, good. I'm glad, because we'll get to it eventually. Yeah. But Shada was not completed. But then in these...
not complete.
It was not complete.
Was not complete.
Alright, sorry. We've been drinking.
Put a double negative.
Well, no. Alright, anyway, so they completed it in the 80s using Tom Baker narrating the scenes that weren't there. And they put that out on VHS, and they finally put that out on DVD. But now they've gone back and animated the missing scenes using Tom Baker, because he's still alive, in his 85, 86, and the actress, I forget her name, because she's still alive, and they animated all the scenes that were in the script but that had not been filmed. So now for the first time, I mean the thing's been made 3 or 4 times. It was done as an audio deal for the 8th Doctor. It was done animated by some fan guy animated a version. There was the original VHS version there, and they finally now have an absolute complete version of it, and that's the last bit of Tom Baker's that was not fully in existence.
That's awesome. So we have all of Tom Baker.
Right. Now I don't have those episodes counting as in the numbers here, because I don't think it's ever been aired. But if it gets a proper airing, then we'll count those episode numbers in the full deal, and I'll have to shift all my episode numbers after that, which will take some work. But
when we get reconstructions that are animated, those animations are endorsed by the BBC, or are those just
they're done by the BBC?
They're done by the BBC.
Well, so there's a few fans. Mark Levine, I think his name is. There are a few fans that have done their own animations, but they're not.
Are those for the ones that the BBC didn't do?
Well, that maybe have not done as of yet, but they're not official. I know Mark Levine did Mystery to the Unknown.
Do you have that, or do you?
Mission to the Unknown. No, I think you can watch it online, but it's once again, it's not official. But now the BBC is going through, like I said, and animating everything that's missing, or they've not announced a policy towards that, but it seems to be that's what they're doing, because they went and did Power of the Daleks, which was, the entire thing was missing. It was the second Doctor's first serial, and the whole 6-episode serial was missing, but they did that one. And now that they're bringing out sets by seasons, full season sets. Oh, yeah. Alright, so Shada just came out. Season 11, which is Tom Baker, my favorite Doctor's first season comes out in January. And then season 18 comes out in December, 12/4. And season 11, 120. These are all American dates, region 1, or region A for Blu-ray. And season 18 is Peter Davison, the 5th Doctor, the guy with the celery.
Celery.
The celery, yeah. His first season. So they're starting with the ones...
I'm gonna cosplay as him. He's a celery in my sweater.
You might have to... You might be able to get away with it with your hair as dark as it is, but you may have to dye it if you want to truly do it. Yeah. My problem is I don't have any hair anymore.
We'll just put a mop on your head. It's just a mop up or a hat.
Yeah. Last night we were watching Invasion of Time, right, with Tom Baker, and I'm like, hey, I could cosplay as one of the old Gallifreyan Time Lords, because the big. Well, you haven't seen them yet. They got these big ass headdresses. It's
like the El Dorado kind of.
I don't know El Dorado.
This like the sunrise thing. It's just like a
kind of behind them, and think Flash Gordon-esque. You know the movie.
Flash Gordon, like the Flash.
No, Flash Gordon, the movie with
Flash.
Music by Queen.
Okay.
You haven't seen that? Okay. Yeah, there was a movie in the '80s, Flash Gordon, music done by Queen, but they got that kind of thing with the big deal there, and anyway, I could cosplay as one of those because there's not a whole lot of cosplay for older bald guys unless you're playing a wizard. I mean, let my beard grow out and I could do a Gandalf, you know.
You could do a Viking with a beard.
Viking, yeah.
Put the horned helmet on.
Right, or a wizard, but I could do one of the old Time Lords, you know.
We should go to a Comic-Con. They have cons here in Lubbock. Do you ever go to those? They have Lubbock Con. They have 2 cons here in Lubbock.
Well, yeah. The one in the
Civic Center.
The one in the winter in February. We always have a table at.
But you have to. Oh, is there? That's right. I saw you there.
Right. Every year we have a table there. The one in the fall.
We should dress you up for one of those.
Oh, that'd be fun. The one in the fall, in September, the timing is horrible. Every year, the timing's just bad, and we never have a table at that.
Just really.
Well, plus the one in the fall is more comic based. Although I understand they've now spread out and everything else. And the one in the winter, in February, which I think they're going to move it to the spring, move it to May later on or March or something.
Is that better time? That work better?
Both of those timings are fine. They're irrelevant. February and March are great. The problem with September is the first year we were moving the shop. That was 3 years ago. We were moving the shop. Then it was my vacation, and then it was my vacation again. Plus, you get later, and it's the Magic pre-release, and then the Yu-Gi-Oh pre-release, and this, that, and the other. There's just no time. The timing's horrible. But the one early in the year, the timing's fine. You know, February, March, April, May, late May wouldn't be the best because that's when we took our vacation this year, and we're taking it next year. Wait, no, sorry. This year we took it in September. Next year's we're going to do it in late May. But anyway, we are way sidetracked. Okay, but anyway.
Next year we'll dress you up. We'll get a booth. We should cover it.
Wait, 19 or 20?
19.
19. Okay, you got like 2 months to make me an outfit.
Okay, I can do that.
2
What
months.
do you want to go? A doctor? You want to go as a doctor?
Okay,
I could do that.
I have no hair. I can't pull off any of those except maybe
the hat or the mop. I'll make you a mop.
You make me... No. They're all clean shaven, and I don't want to shave my.
Oh, okay. We'll do a wizard or a Viking then.
Well, I'd have to do that, or I got the Galabrand from Egypt.
Galabrand.
You know those long, like, looks like a nightshirt that they wear?
Okay, you want to go as an Egyptian?
Well, I've already got it. I've got the turban and the Galabrand.
Oh, okay, so you do. Oh, I saw that picture on your kitchen table.
On the counter, yeah, the kitchen counter.
That's when you're playing one of the wise men?
No, that's the Galabrand. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm a wise man, whatever. You know, one of the wise men.
Is that like a Comic-Con costume though?
I don't know, but I wore that for Halloween at the church's fall festival.
Oh, is that what that picture's from?
Yeah, that picture's from the fall festival. The bales of hay behind us.
I thought that was like a manger scene. What do you call that? The baby Jesus?
Yeah.
You look like a wise man.
Yeah, well, that's what I told everybody. And some people were like, you're Moses, right? I'm like, I don't have a staff. Moses had a big staff, which he threw down and turned into a snake, and he held it up to hold open the Red Sea, and
Let my people go.
Right, and I can't remember. I don't think it was. There was somebody who held up a staff and
made it a snake. It was his brother Aaron.
Who held up a staff and kept the sun from setting for like 36 hours so they could do a battle.
I remember Moses died and he gave his staff to Aaron, and then they're in battle and he's holding up the staff.
Okay, so it was Aaron
who
did that. Okay,
and then when when his arms got tired, then they'd start losing. And
right. It was Aaron that did that. Okay, yeah. But I didn't have a staff, so I can't be Moses. I don't have a staff, so I'm like, I want a wise man. But if I get a staff, I'll be Moses.
So 2 months, we'll find you a costume for
LoveCon. Well, no, well maybe I've already got that, but I could get a staff. Well, I could go as one of the Time Lords, but there's no way to get that
thing.
Yeah, I'd have to show you pictures, but there's no way to get that together before February. It'd have
you
to
think
be
it'd take longer than 2 months?
Yeah. No, I want a suit one of these days. I want to get a green tux like Drop Dead Fred had in the movie.
What movie?
Drop Dead Fred.
I haven't seen that.
All right.
I should watch Animal Club. I heard good things about that.
Animal House.
Oh
my god. Okay.
Someone showed me a clip of the buffet scene.
Right. Didn't we start having a list of the movies
I have
to show you?
Is that on the movie list? Animal House.
It should be. If it's not, add Animal House. Add Drop Dead Fred.
Drop Dead Fred.
The Adventures of Baron Munchausen came up.
I can't even spell that.
Alright.
We are
stupidly off.
Do you ever see Young Frankenstein?
Frankenstein. Yeah, I've got it on Blu-ray.
We watched that for Halloween.
I love that.
With
we did Rocky Horror, and I did Rocky Lines. Oh my gosh, you will never hear me curse like that.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh my god, I would do the lines and I would curse like a sailor. It's the only time you'll hear me like that.
The theater here, they have an interactive picture show with the Rocky Horror picture. And
it's always on Saturdays when I work.
Oh, that's too bad.
So we did it on Halloween here for a Halloween party. Anyway.
There's our movie goes.
So Shada's already out. I've got to go pick that up. And my wife's going to give that to me for Christmas. So she kept getting me like biographies of people I liked, autobiographies and biography books, and I'm like, I want these DVDs. I need to complete my Blu-ray collection of Terry Gilliam. And she's like, well, I want it to be a surprise, and she kept getting me those, and I love her to death. But I read the biographies, but they were not my favorite thing. You know, I still got one there for Terry Gilliam actually from last Christmas. I need to read. So finally, I'm like, look. I finally fleshed out all my Terry Gilliam on Blu-ray. I want these new Doctor Who deals that are coming out. You don't know what to give me for Christmas. We'll just get these, and you can wrap them up, and they'll be my Christmas presents. So I'm getting Shada season 18 for Christmas, and then I'll get season 11 when it comes out in January as a late Christmas present.
Oh, that's good.
But that's the fourth Doctor's first season, season 11, and the fifth Doctor's first season, season 18. And so they're going to flesh those out because Tom Baker was the most popular and still is the most popular in the States for the classic Doctor Who.
Which one's Tom Baker?
Tom Baker, the scarf right here. The fourth Doctor.
Yeah, your favorite.
Yeah, my favorite. And Peter Davison, the fifth Doctor, and they're bringing his out. That's the one with the celery. Right.
They can't see that on camera, can they?
Yeah. No, I think I've got it set where they can just barely see him this time, but I'm not 100% sure.
All you need to see is a celery stick on.
Okay, anyways, watching this probably know what Peter Davison looks like. Anyway, so they're coming out with that, and now I've got to buy them on Blu-ray because the quality is going to be better than the DVD because of the line difference. But it will mean I don't know what I'm going to do with some of these because I could take off whole sections of it and replace it with just the Blu-ray. But I don't know if I want to keep it all on this shelf or replace it with the Blu-rays or what. I don't know. Because I paid a lot of money for these and because some of them are stupidly collectible.
We'll just build you a bigger bookshelf that looks like a TARDIS. And then you'll have room for all the...
Possibly. I do like these though.
We'll make a video and we'll put it on the channel.
Alright. The only full season up there is that Key to Time special edition. That was one full season story arc, and that was Tom Baker's fourth season? No. Fifth fifth season, I think.
Which Doctor had the most seasons?
Tom Baker. 7 seasons.
7 seasons.
Yeah. Let's see. He started with season 12. Yeah, season 12. Season 11? Yeah, season 12. He went 3-3-5. That's supposed to be season 12. I wrote it down wrong. Season 12. Change it. Alright. It better be season 12. I don't see why they'd come out with a third Doctor's last season first. It doesn't make sense. But hopefully they're going to start flushing them all out with the Blu-rays with the better quality. And it means that they are, I think that's why they're trying to complete the missing stuff. So they can eventually do the first and second Doctors complete seasons and actually have them complete. You know? And then I'll buy them on DVD if they come out on DVD, and then I'll buy the seasons on Blu-ray just to support it.
So when does the Blu-ray actually become better quality? Because if you make Blu-rays as season 1, then it's just higher quality static.
No. It's still higher quality because
really though?
wait, because they had more lines of resolution than we did.
Oh, okay.
Because we had 540 lines, and they had 620 lines. So our DVDs look at the 520 lines, but when you go to high def and it goes to 1040 lines, then the 620 can actually be shown.
Does that really make a big difference though?
I don't know. None of these are out yet.
I'll go on YouTube and I'll go from 720 to 1080p, and I just can't even tell a difference. And then now they have 4K resolution, and I feel like I can't even appreciate that because
part of it depends on the size of the screen. Because if you're looking at a photo or a screen this big, you're gonna have a harder time telling the difference in the resolution.
We actually have the exact same 2 monitors. I have that exact same HP monitor and things like.
Oh wow.
Okay,
cool.
Very same monitors.
But
so I'll full screen it. I can't tell the difference when I switch resolutions.
But when you get to a big TV and it's 4, 5, 6 feet across, you can tell the difference a lot better. So, and the 4K, that's what I'm saving up for with the Uber, is a 4K TV. I really want this Sony, this True Black. True Black, that's gorgeous.
So it's not just like the gray tone?
Oh no, True Black, and it's backlit and not side lit or behind it. It's just gorgeous. But it's like $3,000, so I'm 800, and Wednesday it'll go to 900 when I get paid from Uber, or Tuesday I think this week. They switch it back to Tuesdays.
Is that how that works?
They pay you once a week.
Oh.
You can cash out if you want, but I never do it. It's just like it's just going in a day early. It doesn't matter unless. But anyway, so yes, to support Doctor Who, I will buy the DVDs if they come out in that fashion, then I'll buy the Steam Blu-rays, and I'll keep the DVDs for my collection, even if I've only got like 2 shelves later because it's all on Blu-ray. I will still keep the DVDs because it's all good and they're collectible.
Do you think they'll be able to put more episodes on fewer DVDs?
Well, they do it on Blu-ray. Yeah, Bluray has not only higher resolution, but there's more storage space.
So they have like half as many DVDs.
Well, yeah.
Blu-rays.
Yeah, and in fact, I mean, look at here. Grab let's see. Good example. Here we go. 7 series right there. Grab that one. Yeah, that one. Okay. So this is the complete 7 series, Doctor Who. I've seen it. This one isn't actually opened.
Side by side comparison.
Well, no, that's a complete specials. It's Blu-ray, but that's the early one. But
here, is this a side by side?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is an entire season, all 6 on the one deal, and this is the Blu-ray. This one has 26 episodes this season, but they're half-hour episodes. This one has 13 episodes, but they're full-hour episodes, so they're basically equivalent. And this is smaller. Okay.
How many DVDs are in this one?
4 discs. And this one should be 6 discs.
Okay.
So 7 discs. It says 7 discs.
So almost twice as much.
Right. Because there's not only higher video quality, but there's more storage space, because the red laser shoots at the Blu-ray and reads the top layer. Then the blue laser, which is even more precise, looks beyond that layer and goes to the deeper layer, and it's a more precise layer with the blue laser, and it reads that layer.
Every podcast I learned something new. History and technology.
Yeah. But so that's why the blue laser, and now the 4K, I don't know. Also, compression helped a lot. Laser discs, I used to have like 200 laser discs. Laser discs did the same thing, but they were a foot across, like an LP, like a vinyl album.
Right.
Okay. But they didn't have any compression. When compression came out, it took the thing you could do on a laser disc and it made it so you could fit it on a DVD. Because the MP3 compression and whatever MP4 now enables you to put. You don't have to read the entire screen. You just have to read the differenses.
So what does
Stuff
MP,
like that.
What does the MP stand for? Because I had an MP3 player. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what it stands for either. I know what the 3 stands for. I don't know what MP stands for.
What's the 3 and 4 stand?
Multiplayer, maybe?
Oh.
It's like a CD stands for compact disc. DVD stands for DVD.
They made a live action Fat Albert, and they get sucked out of the TV show, and then they're in real life, and then they see it says Fat Albert coming out on DVD, and it's like, look, we're coming out on DVD.
I hope Bill Cosby wasn't in it. Bill Cosby. Hey, but digital versatile disc, not video. It stands for digital versatile disc.
Versatile.
But anyway, so I'm getting those for Christmas. Hopefully, they will come out with all of those seasons eventually. Hopefully, I mean, they've brought out everything else. They've kind of killed. There's nothing left of the cash cow. They can't really. So they've got to animate the old stuff. Yeah, they got to keep milking it. I knew the old seasons would be in a season box set eventually on Blu-ray, but they're taking their bloody time, just because they're trying to milk it as long as they can. But
do you think there's also just less of a market for stuff like that? I think less fans are interested in that.
Okay, the problem, I don't know. The problem is that the modern fans may not be fans of the old stuff.
Right.
And especially a lot of really hardcore devotees may have stopped watching because of Whitaker, because of the doctor's gender change. No, Whitaker's female. The new female doctor. I don't know. I haven't seen any of her stuff because it's not out yet on Blu-ray. When it comes out on Blu-ray, I'll buy it. I'll watch it. It took me several months to get past that gender change. I did not like it at all. Pissed me off because all the female heroes becoming male. Like.
Do they not hint like earlier on with other doctors that he could regenerate as a female, or is that?
You see the 50-something year history of this. It is not even hinted at until the 10th Doctor. To like the very tail end of the... Right. Moffat. Right, during Moffat's...
Okay.
Who wrote that episode? That episode was written by Gaiman. Gaiman wrote that episode. The guy, the author. Okay? He wrote that. And the Doctor's wife? But anyway, it's not until the modern stuff. It's nowhere mentioned in the first 45 years of Doctor Who. It comes up in like 2007 or something.
It's just like a weird curveball.
Right. Here you go. I think it's here in 2008. And it's a curveball. It's like, really? They mention a particular Time Lord called... What was the name of that Time Lord?
The bad one? The bad guy?
No, not the Master.
The Master.
Not the Master. What's the name of that Time Lord? The Saracen? Something like that. But I can't remember the exact name. I don't think that's it, but it was something like that, Saracen or whatever. But anyway, this Time Lord had then changed into a female. And the Doctor's like, oh, what a wild time that was, or something, like something sexual there. You don't know. It's never elaborated on. but that's the first indication within the show proper that a Time Lord could change genders. So it happens like 48 years or 45 years into the show. So it's a recent development done by Moffat, originally in a parody in '99, and then spoilers. If you're watching this, you probably know Doctor Who. Eventually, the Master changes into a female. Spoilers, yeah. And then eventually, with the 13th Doctor, the Doctor does. And it looks like the TARDIS rejects her at that point. I don't know, because I've only seen the little end of the 12th Doctor episode, this little snippet where she's in it, and the TARDIS kind of throws her out. I haven't seen the new season yet, because it's airing right now.
The 12th one is the newest one, or is she the 13th?
The 13th one. 13th. Whittaker's the 13th. Oh. And the weirdest part was they gave the Doctor a whole new set of regenerations. Spoilers. Anyway,
because there's only a certain.
There's only so many. Yeah, you can only regenerate 13 times, and the 12th Doctor. You can only regenerate 12 times for 13 existences, but the 12th Doctor is the last one. Is the 13th, not the 12th. Long story.
Does that explain why the next set of regenerations he turns into a female?
No. It should have. They should have done it with him. The perfect time would have been doing it with, although we wouldn't have had Capaldi. Capaldi was good as a Doctor, although the scripts sucked. Moffat. Anyway, but no, that would have been the perfect time to make the Doctor a woman and explain away with the new set of regenerations. And then say, well, this is what happens when you do that, which isn't usually done. But this is what happens. And, or maybe, say, well, this could happen with the new set of regenerations. But they didn't. They waited until after that and then did it with her. And I don't know if they've explained it or not. I have no idea. But the odds of a male character getting 13 regenerations and being male every single time and then switching female is unlikely. So a lot of fans walked away. I almost did. I came this close. But I've got all this, and I've got my Sunday watching group, and we made a pact to do it. We made this huge pact to do it, so we're completing it. Regardless of anything, we are going to complete it.
Who else in the Sunday watch group?
Well, the only original people left are me and Beard. Now, there's other people who come and watch it with us. Like
how many years have you been doing that?
7.
7 years.
7. Well, 7.5. We've started April the 3rd of 2011, and it's currently today, November 12th of 2018. So we've been doing it for 7.5 years. Every anniversary we have a little party with a cake.
That's awesome.
And
are we gonna have our podcast anniversary?
Sure, why not?
I'll bring a cake. A keto cake.
Keto. I don't know if we can have a keto cake. We may have to. We may have to do like pork rind nachos. Oh my god, those are so good.
Do you think you'll still be on the keto a year from now?
I have no idea.
We're not very far, are we?
But
how long have we been doing this? Episode 14.
14. But it's about every other week, so.
16. About 4 months, because we skipped a few. Maybe
5 months. Yeah.
We're not quite halfway.
But anyway, so. Beard and I are the only two that have been there the whole time. There were others who started with us who've fallen by the wayside, and there are others who've come in. But Beard and I have made, and we've redoubled down on that pact after Whittaker and Moffat, because Beard has not seen. He hated Series 5. It was just so bad, and Series 6, and then he just stopped watching. He says, yeah, I'm not watching this until we have to watch it for the Doctor Who group. But we are bound and determined to see every single thing, every single episode of Doctor Who, all the spin-offs, everything.
So you're going to watch the Robo-Dog one?
K9, yes. K9. In fact, my wife and I are watching that now. Because that's my it's my third, or this is my third, that's my second Doctor Who watching group, my wife and I. And we went through the old stuff till we caught up with the guys, and then she folded into that group. And she and I have also been going through the new stuff. And we've watched the first 5 series, and we watched Torchwood, all of Torchwood, and the Sarah Jane Adventures.
And now we're watching Torchwood, another spin-off?
Yeah, Torchwood is a spin-off.
Okay. Is that also one of the companions or something?
One specifically, Captain Jack Harkness. But there's a couple other companions that show up in it, such as Martha Jones.
Okay.
But yeah, Torchwood is really good, and it's an anagram of Doctor Who.
Oh.
You mix up the letters, and you get Doctor Who.
I like that. Like with Tom Riddle and I am.
Yeah.
So I see Doctor Who, and then there's a whole bunch of extra letters too. What is?
No. There's no extra letters. It's D.
Oh, it's spelled out. I just said Dr.
Tor.
Okay.
Doctor WHO. Who?
All right.
Yeah.
I was just doing the initials.
No. Doctor. You write it out. Doctor Torchwood.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, and we've watched all of Torchwood. Now we're watching through K9, and then we'll go back to the main show. And then
do you enjoy K9? Is that very hard to watch?
No, it's actually it is enjoyable.
Is that more of a children's show?
That is a very children's show, and it was made in Australia. Oh. And they have the guy had the rights to K9, but he didn't have the rights to anything Doctor Who. So K9's memory gets wiped during the first episode, and he regenerates into a new K9 that can fly.
You see a lot of that stuff going on with the Marvel movies, the MCU, and then when Marvel was going bankrupt, they started selling a lot of their rights to the characters.
Yeah, so Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's in Sony, and then Fox owns like all of the X-Men. So then they went and they made the Avengers movie, but they didn't have the rights to Quicksilver. So they made the character Quicksilver, they just never called him that. And they also lost their rights to adamantium, so now they say vibranium in the movies, which is another material, but just they use it more than it's...
Well, yeah, but Disney owns...
Yeah, now Disney bought Marvel now.
And Disney's now bought Fox.
Mm-hmm, so now they're going to get the X-Men.
So they get them all back. It's all insane.
And then they made a deal with Sony to get Spider-Man in a few movies, but Sony's still holding on to a lot of the Spider-Man stuff. They just made their own Venom movie, I think. Yeah.
Venom in it, I think it was number 1 for a couple weeks.
Eventually they seeded and made a deal with Marvel, Disney,
so
because they kept failing at Spider-Man. They had a lot of success with the Tobey Maguire, and then they had the Andrew Garfield movies, and that was just a flop. So then they're like, okay, fine, we'll do a movie.
Have you seen Spider-Man 3? That was pretty bad.
Yeah, well, that's what ended Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
And then they tried to reboot it.
That was pretty bad.
They were going to make a 4th Tobey Maguire, but 3 was so bad that they just rebooted it to Tobey Maguire, and those two were really bad. Well, the first one was okay, but the second, Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, but speaking of Spider-Man 3, Hayden Anderson Church, I think that's his name, was in it as Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also in the specials that we watched last night for Bad Movie Night.
All throughout that entire movie, his lips look so chapped.
That's just the way he looks, okay, seriously. He was also in George of the Jungle and stuff, but...
Yeah.
But anyway,
some chapstick.
But so my wife and I are finishing up K9, but we're going through that, and then we'll watch series 6, 7, 8, 9, and then Class, the spin-off Class, and then series 10 and 11, however far Doctor Who is on that point. Class is really bad. It's just bad. They was canceled after a single season. It was 10 episodes, and it's like first
and on a cliffhanger because they canceled it.
Kinda, yeah. The first 4 episodes are actually pretty decent. They hold up decently well, and they help explain a few things. And then it just starts getting real bad, and you get the whole Mary Sue syndrome, hey, yes, I'm some alien princess and I can do everything and I'm amazing just because I'm a girl or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they actually start at the very end, like the last episode, the Weeping Angels get brought in. And it looks interesting. It looks like they're going to tie everything in. It's going to be gorgeous. And then that's it. It ends. And none of that is explored.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But here we go, Clash. Yeah, The Lost in that episode. It's pretty good the first 3 episodes, and then the last 5 just go way downhill. Just like Moffat's entire run as showrunner. Anyway.
Is there anything good that Moffat did?
Yes, Moffat was a horrible showrunner, but he was a great writer when somebody else held the reins. When Russell T Davies held the reins, Moffat wrote Blink. He wrote some fantastic episodes.
I thought that was
No, he wrote Blink. He wrote some fantastic episodes. If he was kept in check, he could write some great episodes, but when he just had his own reign, I'm gonna just throw in, yes, the Doctor could be female, and I'm just gonna throw in, you know what? By the way, we're gonna retcon this entire history of the Doctor, and I'm gonna have this incredible Mary Sue companion that can just do whatever because she's just amazing, and the Doctor somehow finds continuously women who are infinitely better at everything than him, despite his experience, despite his knowledge, despite his competency, despite everything. Just somehow they're so much better, and the Doctor's going to change their entire world around this woman, and she will save him throughout all of time. We'll get there, you'll hate it. Throughout all of time in history, and he just retcons everything the way he wants it, and he just literally in some ways destroyed a lot of the history of the show.
You ever play the Fable games on Xbox?
Yeah.
They have the director of those games was Peter Molyneux, and that was with Lionhead Studios, and the first 1 and 2 entries to the Fable games were really, really good. And I feel like Peter Molyneux's like the gaming version of Moffat, because he left Lionhead Studios and he took the Fable franchise with him because he owned the rights to it. And without Lionhead Studios holding the reins, he made a bunch of promises he couldn't fulfill, and that's the entire series just went way downhill, and then just went crazy with it.
Well, no, if someone...
It's really sad.
Right.
And because they were good games when, Lionhead Studios was like, this is what we can do and this is what we can't do. And then he left and he's like, how are we going to do all this?
But yeah, I don't know if the new stuff is good or not, Series 11, because I haven't seen any of it. Hopefully Chibnall, hopefully is not worse than Moffat. Hopefully he's better. And hopefully Whittaker's a good Doctor that's not simply hamstrung by bad scripts the way that Capaldi was and Smith was.
Where's the term hamstrung come from? Is that some ability warriors have in World of Warcraft? Does that have to do with ham?
No, your hamstring.
Or your hamstring when
this right here.
Okay.
If it's cut, you can't really walk. You can only hobble at best. And so to be hamstrung is to be hindered in such a way that you can't really do anything.
Okay.
So that's what that means when they cut your hamstring, just above the Achilles heel, but right here. You ever see football players tear their ACL?
Right,
yeah, it ends their career usually. That's the hamstring. Right. I think I'm not a doctor or the doctor. Anyway, but yeah, hopefully Jodie Whittaker is better. All right, and hopefully Chibnall's a better show.
I feel like you're the doctor of this podcast, though.
Right, you're the companion. That's the whole reason that we set it up this way. And then maybe we will get a female companion with your girlfriend if she wants to jump in once she's 21.
I don't know if she'll enjoy this so much.
I don't know. She can still come.
She enjoys our movie nights.
She does. We do enjoy the movie nights. When does she turn 21?
May.
Okay, that's not far off.
Is that? Yes.
Let's see. Okay. Anyway, the Doctor, Vicky, and Barbara show up in the Crusades. Back to the actual serial we watched. Oh my gosh. Back to the actual serial we watched. And, alright, the episodes aired from 3/27. Wait, where'd it go? There?
2/13/1965.
Oh, no, I didn't change it.
Alright. Oh.
I didn't change it. Alright.
That's from last.
Alright, yeah, ignore that. New dates. Alright. They aired from March. So 3/27/1965 to alright, you do that. To April 17th, 1965. 4/17/1965. Alright. LBJ was president like forever ago. I wasn't even born yet, and I'm 50. We'll get to my birth in 1968. Let's see. In fact, there's a thread on Doctor Who stuff online, like which episode aired on or closest to your birthday. Anyway, so they wind up in the Crusades, and King Richard the Lionhearted is trying to take Jerusalem back from the Saracens, the Muslims, and it's a really good serial. Hopefully they should be animating it eventually, even though this was a prime candidate for animation previously, like I explained, but it was not because the historicals were never as popular. But the dialogue is fantastic. It's very Shakespearean. The costumes, the sets are all really good, and the story's really good, and it shows both sides fairly well. But anyway, so the first and the third episodes still exist. The second and the fourth do not. We watch the reconstruction. Hopefully, eventually, we'll watch the animation.
And they're on 2 separate discs.
Yeah. So I had to keep switching between the Lost in Time and then the reconstruction. Hopefully, this will never be a problem in the future once they animate everything that's missing. And I hope they keep doing that. Like I said, the Power of the Dogs was a big surprise. Anyway, I told them the dialogue was Shakespearean. It was really good.
Oh, I love the dialogue. Oh, they had such punchy one-liners.
Oh, yeah. It's like the doctor gets into sword fights. And remember, the doctor is Hartnell. He looks old, and he is... I want to say he is old, but he's not that... I'm almost as old as he was. This is what Hartnell. I'm getting there. I'm actually getting there. It's different back then. Yeah. Right. True, because remember that... the 12th Doctor. What's his name? I'm blanking. I've been drinking.
This is only the first 10, right?
It's the first 11.
11. Oh.
He's not on there. Let's see. Capaldi. Capaldi is the same age as the first Doctor was. But
much longer.
But yeah, so long ago that Capaldi seems a lot younger than the first Doctor was because World War II and rationing and alcoholism and all the other fun stuff, No, seriously, he drank a lot. At least that's the indication I got. I don't know, alcoholic's the right term. Don't wish to impugn his legacy or anything like that. But anyway, so he just lived a rough life.
I feel like everyone back then was a very heavy drinker.
Yeah, we're drinking now. I've got vodka,
This is just the times. If I was born in alive in 1965, I'd probably be a heavy drinker too.
Yeah. I was born in 68, and look at me. But no, and they smoked a lot more back then.
Oh yeah.
Today,
there's a time where they didn't even know smoking was bad for you. Like, they have the Lucy show.
The commercials.
Family show. They're just smoking away.
4 out of 5 doctors recommend Lucky Strikes. Yeah, that kind of stuff. The 5th guy said, "Stop calling me," But anyway, so they go back and historically, the Crusades were a Catholic attempt to wrest control of the Holy Land from the Muslims, the Saracens, and all that who had taken them, the Moors, all those, because Catholic pilgrims were going to the Holy Land and were being slaughtered by the Muslims in several cases. The Muslims actually kind of started it with a jihad, and then the Catholics responded with the Crusades.
Do you think that's a thing you notice in the Crusades? When I was a kid, was a really cool historical thing.
Mm-hmm.
You had Richard the Lionheart, who's a lot of fun to study about.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Crusade, taking back the Holy Land, and all that stuff. But nowadays, I feel like history, the way people teach it now, has shifted a lot, and a lot of history teachers are like, the Crusaders were barbarians, and they'd go through towns and slaughtering people, and they kind of they put a bad light on the Crusaders compared to
because
Saracens.
There's a lot of people who hate the West, they hate America, they hate everything.
Yeah, it's
American.
almost like you're implying guilt and
right.
But
collective guilt, and they forget that that was Catholic, not Christian.
Right.
I note the difference between Catholicism and Christianity, Protestantism. And the fact that the Muslims started it. Also, the Crusades lasted like 150 years.
It wasn't unprovoked. It's like, they didn't just go through and slaughtering people. It's like they started
Hey, to be fair, atrocities were committed on both sides.
I know, but that's just,
Right.
It was the medieval. That's just how wars were fought.
Right.
When they didn't have Geneva Conventions and
Okay, true,
Just a lot of people
but
died.
the worst wars were all in the 20th century. You know how many, the Crusades lasted like 140 years or so?
Yeah.
You know how many people died in the Crusades? 1 million. You know how many people socialism killed in the 20th century?
a lot.
Communism? 100 and something million. I mean, everything got bigger, everything got crazier, everything got more barbaric. The Crusades were not the highlight of the Western world, but by that same token, it is peanuts compared to 20th century, barbarism,
Right.
atrocities committed by communists and socialists,
That's also just
including the
something
Nazis.
fun.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway, so
that's my
so King Richard is trying to get Jerusalem and that back from what was that guy's name? Some big
Saladin.
big long name, Saladin. We're just taking the short version. Saladin.
So we call him
Remember
Saladin.
he had this long Saladin.
I didn't write that one.
Right. He's trying to get everything from Saladin. The Doctor and his companions end up in the middle of a fight where Richard is being ambushed by
Elakir.
Elakir and his men.
He's sort of like a mercenary type guy. He was aligned with Saladin.
But he's like the mayor or the commander. Maybe you would go with Duke of a province of an area, and he's got that town under his thumb. But he's a real Hanyak, real bad guy.
So he ambushes Richard and Ditambu gets shot with an arrow.
Right.
He makes it back.
Several of them died.
And then
there's a bunch of guys that died.
most of them died. Ditambu lives, and then there's
Pirro?
also what's
Pirro?
his face? William Deprego.
Dipero. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And don't forget
That's the guy that got captured.
William the Wary. Oh, and don't forget William the Wary.
He was right though.
He was right.
He's like, we're gonna be ambushed.
Yeah,
noises,
this is a bad place. He was correct, and he dies.
He died. He got captured with Barbara. I thought.
No. That was that William the Wary? Was that
I think so.
guy?
Yeah, William Depreo got captured with Barbara because he had a ruse.
And he eventually lives. Yeah. So anyway, the Doctor and his companions end up in the middle of this thing where the Saracens capture who they think is Richard Lionheart, but it's not. It's William Devereux, pretending to be him so that the king can actually escape. And Barbara gets caught up in it, and
she plays
his sister Joanne. And anyway, so eventually, the Doctor, Vicky, and Ian manage to curry the king's favor.
They return his belt.
Yeah, return his belt. They bring his friend back, whom they saved. Like I said, the Doctor's actually sword fighting in this. It's great, even though he's so old. Later on, the Doctor gets a lot more pacifist until you see Tennant, my favorite Doctor of this century, and my third favorite Doctor overall, sword fighting in like his very first serial. No, wait, his second serial. First, second, one of the two. Sword fighting, it's awesome.
I like how scrappy the Doctor is when he
when he has
rolls up his sleeves. How he's talking to Vicky in the last serial, the Romans, where that one person tries it. Was it the Roman? Yeah, he's playing the harp player. What was it?
Lute.
The lute?
A liar
player, and then someone tries to assassinate him. And he tosses him around. It's out the window. He's like, exactly. I can fight when I want to.
Exactly.
Vicky's all worried. He's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of scrappy people, Ian is
dude, he's all that in a bag of chips in this. Yeah.
Always fighting in some serial or the other. He's throwing down. He's
the manly man.
Daleks. He's the Aztecs. He's fighting in the arena. He's always fighting. So he's really good at it too. Do they ever explain why he's so good at
Well,
grabbing?
I mean,
Does he have a background in fencing or wrestling or something, or is
I
just
don't think they ever mentioned that, but he's just being a man. You know, this is back when men were allowed to be men before they had to be emasculated.
He just picks up the sword.
Well, to be fair, if you have any sort of modern knowledge of anything, you should be better than ancients at something, given a level playing field. Although, to be fair, he seems a bit better than he should without proper training.
They played at that with the Aztec episode, and he's like, I can knock you out with these fingers. And
because he the modern knowledge. Exactly. They eat a Vulcan.
It's like, I saw it, and he knocked them out with the...
and it's like going back in time and having a gun. Modern else has bows and arrows. It's go to 1,000 years ago, and you're gonna. I think the Chinese had gunpowder, but no one else did. But anyway, so the Doctor and them end up with King Richard. They send Ian to go look for Barbara. He goes, and like I said, the Saracen side of this is shown very well.
They represent both sides really good.
Very well. And he goes, he's looking for Barbara. Barbara's been kidnapped by
he's honorable.
Elikir,
yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was
Barely looks like
that's the one from World of Warcraft.
Okay. But he goes and looks for Elikir, kidnaps Barbara. She ends up in a town. There's a subplot with a guy whose house was burned down, his wife and his son were murdered, his one daughter was taken by Elikir to be a concubine in his harem.
Just the one daughter. The
one daughter. His other daughter he still has, and he has safe, and a whole big subplot, and that's really interesting and good. What?
It's really obvious why they take the one daughter.
And so he's got the other daughter.
Well, she doesn't...
What? Okay, you lost me. What are you laughing at?
I made a bad joke.
Okay.
The other one wasn't pretty enough to take. She harder on the eyes.
The face made for radio. Yeah.
They took the one daughter. She was really pretty. It showed her with the harems, and then
right. She also
the other daughter it's like, don't let them take my other daughter. And it's like, I don't think you have a problem.
But the way they put his wife and his son to the sword, he and his other daughter weren't there. So the question is whether or not they would kill her. And this is a children's show, but he gives Barbara a knife, a dirk, and says, if they come for you, kill my daughter and kill yourself, because they will torture you.
I thought it was weird how Barbara understood what he was talking about, because I thought, he meant take this knife up in defense of my daughter and yourself, but she's like, he gives her the knife, and Barbara goes, to kill your daughter? And he's like,
he kind of mentions it. He does mention it.
I just thought that was
reasonably dark.
Kill my daughter, and then kill yourself, because you don't want to be captured as a concubine harem.
Well, no, I think he was more talking about being tortured and put to the sword. Like, what was that line that Elikir says to Barbara at the end of the 3rd episode when she's captured? The only pleasure left to you is death, and that's a long time coming. Yeah, it's like, whoa, not a nice guy.
Big old scar.
Yeah, he's got this cool scar. I mean, I don't know if it's real or not, but it looked cool.
I don't think so, but they had really good makeup because they had Richard. He got a cut on his head. It was really convincing. What do they call it? Cinematic.
Guy does the makeup?
Yeah, what do they call it when they do special effects or something?
Yeah, makeup. Yeah. But the guy who wrote the serial, his name was David Whittaker, I think.
Yes.
And it's like, dude, I wonder if that's any relation to Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor. I don't know. That'd be cool.
We have magic phones.
I know we could find out. Nah, leave the magic phones off. All right. Anyway, but so. We watched the 4 episodes, and they were fun. Did you have any questions?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Not like we haven't got incredibly off topic or anything already, but... You need another beer.
Yeah,
or another...
It's a long podcast.
Well, dude, we spent the first hour talking about everything else except the episode we watched.
We're gonna hit the record limit.
No, it's 2.5 hours, I think.
Okay, we're probably
yeah. If the battery's fully charged, yeah.
Oh, in the first episode when Barbara and William DePreo, he knows this is Barbara's weird futuristic clothes, and he keeps mentioning it, and I thought
it caused much talk.
Yeah,
I like that line. I love the Shakespeareanness of it.
Do them, the Doctor and his companions traveling through time ever impact the timeline itself? Because I know the Doctor says again and again, let history take its course. But sometimes they end up being, the driving factors of that
behind history. Yeah,
because he during the Roman episode, he was the one that lit the map on fire.
Right. They gave Nero the idea to burn Rome.
Let history take its course, but then they oftentimes end up being that history. And I know it's a big thing. With T-shirts and the belts and all the merchandise for Doctor Who, they show Vincent Van Gogh's Starry Night with the TARDIS in it, and I don't understand that because I haven't seen it yet. But at some point,
50th anniversary episode.
The TARDIS in it.
Right, that'll show up in the 50th anniversary episode.
Okay.
The Day of the Doctor.
So I
understand that.
I was wondering if they ever impact history. But then I thought it was really cool because it kind of answered my question at the very end, episode 4, when the Knights, they're chasing, they caught the Doctor and his companions, and they think they're traitors to the crown, and then they end up escaping through the TARDIS, and the one knight was like, let's never speak of this in case they
they'll think us idiots or liars. Yeah. Because they see the TARDIS disappear. It's like sorcery.
Let's not talk about it.
Right. They claimed her being a witch, Vicky, and the Doctor being possibly a demon, Yeah.
Vicky was dressed as a boy, what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is that just because it was harder for women in those times? Why does the Doctor try to disguise her as a boy?
The Doctor is protecting her in a day and age where young girls could be hauled off for harems, where they could raped, abused. I mean, they didn't have a lot of rights back then, and they didn't have a lot of methods by which to defend themselves or stand up for themselves. And in the Muslim world, especially, I mean, in Saudi Arabia, women just got the ability to drive cars, and that's a major leap forward. That's a major reform. In a lot of countries, women are still treated as second-class citizens. And back 1,000 years ago, it was even worse. Or what was this? 900 years ago, it was even worse. And so he's trying to protect Vicky by claiming she's a boy because she kind of has a boyish haircut and can pass for. That was kind of actually the hairstyle for men back then. Yeah, the little.
The squires, they had like the longer to the shoulder.
Well, yeah, the little kind of bouffant-ish things, and claiming she was a boy just to protect her because it was a dangerous place and time for women. Although, when they come find out that she's a girl, they don't like being deceived, the King and Richard and Joanne. But Joanne understands and takes her under her wing. She says, look, out there, yeah, I can understand it, but here in the castle, we're civilized, and that is fair. And, William, I love the gallantry, the chivalry he shows trying to protect Barbara several times. A lot of modern people don't care for chivalry, but I'm old-fashioned. I still like it and care for it, and I do like the fact that he showed much chivalry towards her.
He was always throwing up on it.
Right. He was willing to sacrifice himself for her. Yeah. Well, it's like, what in the world are you doing here? Who are you? Yeah. The main Saracen guy, Saladin, thinks that Barbara is a teller of stories, a player, an actress in some sort of theater troupe, even though for a long time, women were not allowed to be actresses. And
that's not so much a Middle Easterner thing.
No, that was even in the West. That was even in the West back then, right?
What's her face?
And in Shakespeare's...
Queen Elizabeth? Yeah, Shakespeare.
In Shakespeare's day, men, slighter men, had to play women in Romeo and Juliet and stuff like that before women were allowed to be actresses. And it's just kind of silly and crazy. I mean, could you picture having to, stand there and tell a man that you love him in the Romeo and Juliet sense and kiss him? But I mean, these days that's not that big a deal. But it's just kind of, back then that was kind of a weird thing, Oh, 500 years ago. But she ends up having to tell stories like Scheherazade, and but she never ends up having to. She gets kidnapped before all that happens.
Yes.
Yeah. We've been really bad this podcast about telling the story on this because it's all out of order.
I feel like you recapped it pretty well.
Fairly, but we told everything way out of order, yeah. But it's all good. This whole thing is meant to be organic and as things happen. Alright, what's the next question?
So, when the BBC had financial troubles and they scrapped a lot of episodes, you had these fans who reconstructed it and they animated it. That's a big thing for Doctor Who.
Right.
Are there any other shows that ever went through a reconstruction? Like, do you know of any other?
There are a lot of other shows that were scrapped by the BBC in the 60s and 70s.
But did they have the fan base that actually tried to reconstruct?
I don't know. One big one is Dad's Army. Another one is Do Not Adjust Your Set. That was the name of the show. Do Not Adjust Your Set. It was a precursor to Monty Python. And I do not know if any of those have been reconstructed. I do not know if they had the fan base to record the audio. I do not know any of that. I only know about them tangentially in terms of Doctor Who, or of course Monty Python, because I'm a Pythonian as well. Although I love Monty Python, but not quite as much as I love Doctor Who. I can't, I've got the big skits memorized, but not every episode. But there have been episodes of Dad's Army found, I know that, in the search for Doctor Who. And I think there have been, may have been some of Do Not Adjust Your Set, but I'm not sure. That one is a bit more vague, at least for me.
I just thought that was really cool because as a new term that I'd heard, I'd never heard of, a show being scrapped and then people reconstructing it and animating the lost episodes. And the stories people have, where they went to other places to recover episodes, they're just...
Right, to Africa, to Asia,
hiking.
Yeah, to Australia. I mean...
It really speaks to the fan base, how
Doctor Who has an almost uniquely avid and fanatic fan base. Other shows do, like, more modern shows like Stargate and stuff. Star Trek, which was a follower of Doctor Who. But Doctor Who itself is very, very specific and unique in its history and its fan base over the course of the last 60 years almost.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Alright, what's next?
I think that's just about it. We've hit all these things out of order and sort of intermittently, but I don't think I have anything that we haven't talked about yet.
Really? Oh, cool. Alright, like he said, we missed last week.
This is our very last regularly scheduled historical, right?
Hold on. Alright, go get a beer. I'll look it up.
Okay.
Alright. Yes, because it's alternating historical sci-fi, up until this point. And then after this, there's still historicals, but they're a lot more occasional and intermittent, like the Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve, which is in the 3rd season, and the Gunfighters, which is in the 3rd season. Basically, yes, you're correct. These have been alternating sci-fi, historical. That's the end of that. The next one is a Space Museum, another sci-fi, which all exist. The rest of the season 2 exists, okay?
That's good.
Space Museum, The Chase, and The Time Meddler. but and the time gatherer we get to be another time lord, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but starting with season 3, there's a couple of historicals: the Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve and the Gunfighters. But they're kind of thrown in. It's not the absolute alternating like we have now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is the last. The BBC realized the historicals aren't as popular. The sci-fi is a lot more popular. Let's stick with the sci-fi, and they just roll with that.
That's a shame though, because I love the historicals. I love the sets. The sets especially, because with these sci-fi episodes, you have a lot of painted backgrounds and these sets that are kind of thrown together. Historicals, you have actual brick and mortar buildings, and they go to locations, and they walk in. Yeah, it's very.
And then occasionally you have the actual current stuff, like the well, we'll get to those later, where it's very current, and you have like the chase. We'll have some things that happened at that time in that timeline.
Oh, okay.
So in the chase, they actually go to the top of the Empire State Building.
That's awesome.
And they're actually at the top of the Empire State Building. At least I think they are. But it's kind of cool.
This is cool. Yeah.
And it's in the current time. Yeah. Let's see. Cool. Any other questions or?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
I had. Let's talk about the holidays and what that means.
Oh, for
our next
this?
Monday is the Monday before Thanksgiving.
Yes, and we should be here.
We'll be here. Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Monday.
going to Ren Fair this weekend, as I do every year, but we'll be back late Sunday night, so we should be fine for Monday.
And that's the 21st. Is next Monday. The Monday before the 22nd.
No, today's the 12th.
Oh,
so it's the 19th.
The 19th.
Because Thanksgiving's on the 22nd.
Okay.
So it's the 19th. And
I don't know why I was thinking it was Tuesday.
Then we'll have the 26th.
So Monday's the
19th.
19th.
Next Monday's 19th.
The Monday before Thanksgiving.
Right. Because this time Thanksgiving is the first day possible in the month. It's the 22nd. Because it's always the fourth Thursday.
And we'll be here for that Monday.
Right. Well, we should be here for every Monday except Christmas Eve.
I won't be here the Monday after Thanksgiving. So.
Oh, why not?
I'll be out of town because I'm leaving for the holidays for Thanksgiving. I'll be in Henderson.
Okay.
Until the 26th, which is a Tuesday.
We're
getting back right after.
We're having Thanksgiving here. My mother's coming up from Houston. I got her a plane ticket, so.
That's nice.
Thank you. So she's coming here. We're having Thanksgiving here with my mother and my wife's family, and doing the whole shindig here. But you will be out of town for that Monday.
Right. I'm spending the 22nd Thanksgiving here with my family, and I'm leaving the 23rd to Henderson to spend the week with my girlfriend's family, and we'll celebrate Thanksgiving with them too. Sarah.
Yeah.
And then I won't get back till Tuesday, the 26th. So I'll miss the 23rd.
Okay.
Which is a Monday.
So we're good next week, but not the week after.
Yes.
Okay. And on Christmas, Christmas is like on a Tuesday or something. So the Monday, Christmas Eve.
Christmas. My family celebrates Eve, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, my family does the same thing. Everything happens on Christmas Eve except the big meal. All the gifts are opened, everyone gets together, all that stuff is done on Christmas Eve, and we have a meal and we drink lots of daiquiris that my uncle makes. He's 70, 69 or 70. He's in better shape than you are.
I believe it.
Freaky. Better shape I am, obviously. I love him losing weight, but better shape than you are. And he's like 70, and but he makes his great daiquiris, and we drink that night. And then the next day we have the Christmas meal, and big old turkey and vegetables and just cornbread and dirty rice and everything. Rice. Yeah, it's a Cajun thing.
Okay.
You take meat and you grind, usually liver, and you grind it up. And you mix it with rice and other spices and things.
That's very
And it's
Cajun.
called dirty rice.
They have a Cajun place here in Lubbock. What was that called?
There's 3 of them.
Oh yeah, you ever tried those?
There's Jazz and there's Walk-Ons.
Jazz? I know Jazz. Yeah.
Jazz
that one's on 19th Street, right?
Yeah, Jazz is on 19th Street near the hospital district. Walk-Ons is also on 19th. Well, it's about 25th, 26th, and the far loop, the west side of the loop. Hold on. West side of the loop. And
Jazz Walk-Ons.
And then there's another one, Gator Bayou.
Gator Bayou.
Yeah.
Sarah raves about the gumbo they have at Gator Bayou.
Gosh, she has to try the gumbo at Walk-Ons.
Walk-Ons.
It tastes exactly like my grandmother's used to taste. My grandmother's 93 and she no longer cooks.
Oh.
But it tastes exactly like hers used to taste, except the heat. So you add a bunch of cayenne pepper, and then it tastes like she used to taste.
Oh, good.
Let's see, I haven't been to Gator Bayou. That's on the loop, the south loop.
Sarah says the gumbo, that's her favorite.
Take her to Walk-Ons. Everything at Walk-Ons is amazing. I can't eat any of it on keto. Every Cajun dish is it's just like Mexican and Italian. There's too much. In Cajun, it's all rice. In Mexican, it's all tortilla. In Italian, it's all pasta. The rice, the pasta, the tortilla, all bad.
But you're gonna be able to eat Thanksgiving. That's your cheat day.
Okay. I haven't done any cheat days yet, but I'm thinking.
Well, you're due one.
I'm thinking about doing it for Ren Fair and doing it for Thanksgiving and then doing it for Christmas.
That's a good plan.
Yeah, I figure I'm due, and I figure any harm done will be eventually caught up by the keto. But
I don't think there can be too much harm in just like one day off, because
1 or 2 days off for like Christmas.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've also been told you feel like crap if you're on keto and then you're taking a lot of sugar or carbs. You just feel like crap the next day. So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out.
Right, but at Ren Fair, I want to get one of those ice cream sandwiches, and I want to get some apple dumplings, and I might feel like crap the next. Oh, and the daiquiris. The place we stay at in Navasota, right across the street, there's a daiquiri place. So you go there and get a gallon of daiquiri and take it back across the street to the Red Velvet Inn and just have a party.
They have a place in Austin called the Daiquiri Factory. Just have shelves of different. It's cool.
So if you go down Bourbon Street, New Orleans, right? They check your ID. You pay your $12 or whatever it is, and they give you a big cup, and you just have all these daiquiri things and margarita things, and you just pour your own giant into the cup and then just walk down the street drinking it. It's great.
It's great.
Anyway, next week, the Space Museum.
Space Museum.
We will see you then, and it's also 4 episodes, I believe.
4 episodes.
They, of course, all exist. There's the Space Museum, the Chase, and then the Time Meddler, and those all exist. And then we get to season 3, most of which does not exist currently. Look at all
most
that red.
of the entire season.
Yeah, it's all red. All the red.
So the Space Museum's the last serial of season 2?
No, the Time Meddler is.
Oh, that's the one after the Space Museum.
No, the Space Museum, the Chase, the
Time
Meddler.
So we got 3 more seasons.
Yeah, more Daleks. Yes, the Chase is 6 episodes. The Time Meddler's 4.
That's what you go for that's your cosplay. We'll make you a Dalek suit.
A Dalek. Okay.
You'll have a plunger to run the booth, and you'll pick up things.
Okay, that is seriously not like functional, you know. All right. Anyway, see you next week, guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Have fun. Hopefully somebody's watching this stuff.
They are. Our last episode got like 4 views.
4 views. Yay, 4 views.
68 overall.
There you go.